Today's creature is Paru-Gama. The Paru-Gama is a Tier 3 flying creature. Its body is elongated, with an extremely long tail, and its head resembles that of a caterpillar. As the website says, it has a kind of space armor, and besides resembling a caterpillar, it was also inspired by a lemur. The wings are small. As a cub, there's nothing to indicate that it can fly. In other words, as a baby, they don't fly. The wings would develop during adulthood. Butterflies are some examples of this. As teenagers, we can already see what we might call their wings. But they are small, meaning they would have to flap their wings very fast to support their weight, like hummingbirds and even flies. Let's try to calculate that. Let's compare it to a human being who is 1.80 meters tall. And in the game's model, we can assume that Paru-Gama is 4 meters long. That is, 3 times longer and 25 times heavier than a human to tons. In other words, this would be a problem, since weight increases with volume, but wings grow with area. In the game, the wings are short, start from the shoulders, and don't even flap. An animal weighing 2,000 kilograms would need a wingspan of 20 to 30 meters to be able to fly conventionally. Paru-Gama doesn't even come close to that. Let's compare it to a fly and a hummingbird again. A fly weighs 0.1 grams and its wing beats 200 to 250 Hz. A hummingbird weighs 4 grams and its beats per second range from 50 to 80 Hz. Therefore, the larger the animal, the slower the wing beats. This happens because the wings are larger and the amount of air displaced by each flap is stronger. Now, if the Paru-Gama tried to compensate by flapping its wings faster, we would get into some very complicated math. Since, at 2 tons, with small wings, it would have to have greater lift, such as airspeed and flap frequency. The estimate would be 30 to 50 beats per second, 30 to 50 Hz, that is, faster than an eagle, close to that of a hummingbird, but with 500 times more mass. This would cause problems instantly, as its muscles wouldn't hold up and would easily tear. The energy expenditure would be biologically impossible, and the heat generated would cook the animal, in addition to the wing joints breaking. So much so that even 100 Hz wouldn't solve the problem without the wings being large enough. It cannot even take flight, since to take off the animal needs to generate more lift than its own weight. Now, gliding would be a little easier, but it would still require a large surface area, low relative weight, and good aerodynamic downs. We can compare this to a flying squirrel, which weighs about 1 kilogram and has a long membrane that helps it glide from tree to tree, but even that the Paru-Gama doesn't have, so it would result in it falling to the ground. The wings would only increase drag a little, but still wouldn't provide enough support. And now, final conclusion. In the real world, they would only be able to achieve cushioned falls and very minimal control over airflow direction. It wouldn't fly, much less glide. The wings would serve more as stabilizers, for directional control, and for display. But if he could, the Earth would have to have less gravity, a denser atmosphere, or hidden wings that extend and retract.